There comes a moment in your life when you can feel it deep down in your chest. That restless energy, that voice that won't stop whispering, that hunger that refuses to be silenced. It's telling you that what you're living right now isn't enough. That the version of yourself you've been settling for is only a shadow of what you're capable of. And in that moment, you're faced with the choice. Do you shrink back into comfort, fade into the noise, and pretend that tomorrow will be easier? Or do you stand up, dig deeper than you ever had, and decide that the life you want is worth every ounce of effort you've been too afraid to give? The truth is, greatness doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't knock on your door politely. It doesn't ask for permission. It comes for those who refuse to wait, for those who refuse to be distracted, for those who are willing to bleed, sweat, and grind in silence until the world finally catches up to their vision. Right now, I want you to imagine yourself not a year from now, not a month from now, but right this second, living a life that terrifies you with its potential. A life so big that it scares everyone around you because they can't understand the level of focus, discipline, and sacrifice it takes to reach it. That fear you feel isn't weakness. It's a sign that you're awake. That's your pulse of ambition telling you that there's more inside of you than you've ever allowed yourself to see. Here's the harsh truth. Most people hear that voice and they cover it up with excuses. They numb it with distractions. They let it fade into the background because it's easier to be comfortable than to be extraordinary. And that's why so few people reach the top. Because comfort kills potential faster than failure ever could. But you're not here to be like everyone else. You're here because somewhere deep inside a fire is burning. You know that you have a purpose, a mission, a level of greatness that can't be denied. And that fire is demanding more from you. It's demanding focus when the world is screaming for your attention. It's demanding sacrifice when the easy path is tempting. It's demanding patience when every fiber of your being wants instant results. And if you listen closely, that fire is saying one thing louder than anything else. The time to act is now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because the world doesn't wait and the opportunities you ignore today won't be here tomorrow. This is where most people fail. They underestimate the power of urgency, the power of relentless focus, the power of refusing to allow distraction, fear, or doubt to slow them down. They underestimate what it means to grind in silence, to move with purpose when no one is watching, to keep fighting when every voice around them is telling them to quit. But you can't be most people. You have to be different. You have to embrace the discomfort, hunger for the grind, and understand that every struggle, every sleepless night, every challenge is shaping you into someone the world cannot ignore. So I want you to sit with this feeling right now. That restless energy, that fire in your chest, that voice that won't shut up, it's not going away and it's not meant to. It's your purpose calling you to rise above, to push past, to outwork, outthink, and outlast everyone who doubts you. And by the time this moment ends, by the time this video is over, I want you to make a decision that changes everything. To stop waiting, to stop hesitating, to stop blaming and start believing, to stop talking and start doing, to stop dreaming, to stop dreaming and start executing. Your future is waiting. Your greatness is waiting. And the only thing standing in the way is the choice you make right now to get after it. No one else is going to do it for you. The world doesn't owe you understanding, recognition, or approval. It's waiting to test you. But here's the good news. That test isn't designed to break you. It's designed to build you. And when you finally step into it, fully awake, fully committed, fully unstoppable, you'll realize that all the excuses, all the fear, all the hesitation was just practice for the greatness you were always meant to claim. The time is now. The fire is inside you. The grind is yours. Are you ready to step into it? Let your results speak louder than your mouth. That's not just a mindset, it's a lifestyle. Most people in this world spend their entire lives talking about what they're going to do, who they're going to become, what dreams they're going to chase. But when it comes time to act, they vanish. They talk big, but their actions are small. They post about success, but they never live it. They make noise, but they don't make progress. The truth is, when you're truly focused, when you're locked in on your purpose, you don't have time to talk. You're too busy building. You understand that real power doesn't come from words. It comes from proof. The world doesn't respect potential. It respects performance. It doesn't care about your plans. It only sees your product. You can't convince people you're great. You have to become undeniable. There's a certain kind of silence that comes with hunger. A kind where you don't need validation, likes or recognition, because deep down, you know where you're headed. That's when you've crossed from talking about it to becoming about it. While everyone else is broadcasting their moves, you're mastering yours. Because when your results speak, you don't have to explain. When your grind is real, you don't have to defend your vision. You let the scoreboard do the talking. You let your transformation speak volumes. The body you built, the business you created, the mindset you developed, those things scream louder than any post, any speech, any announcement. They say, I did it, without you ever opening your mouth. Most people fail because they waste energy trying to be seen before they've earned the right to be noticed. They're obsessed with attention instead of execution. They want applause before they put in the work. But the ones who win, they move differently. They move in silence. They know that silence is not weakness, it's precision, it's focus, it's control, it's having the patience to build something worth talking about. Because when you move quietly, you're unpredictable, you're unbothered, you're unstoppable. Nobody can interfere with what they can't see. Nobody can sabotage what they don't know is coming. Every second you spend trying to prove something to people who don't matter is a second you take away from your purpose. You can't build while you're bragging. You can't execute while you're explaining. You can't be consistent while you're seeking validation. The loudest people often have the least to show. The ones who truly build something great, they're too deep in the grind to broadcast it. They know success doesn't come from telling people what you're going to do. It comes from showing them what you've done. The process will always test your silence. When things move slowly, when nobody's clapping for you, when nobody's watching, that's when most people break. They need attention to stay motivated, but the disciplined ones, they don't need witnesses. They just need the work. They don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. They wake up early, stay up late, and grind through the noise because they understand every seed grows underground in silence before it ever touches the sunlight. You don't see a tree shouting while it grows. It just grows. That's how greatness works. Quiet, unseen, steady, unstoppable. When you let your results speak, you take back your power. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing permission. You stop caring what people think. And you start caring about who you're becoming. You start valuing progress over praise. And that shift changes everything. You begin to focus deeper, think clearer, and move smarter. You realize that silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of purpose. You start protecting your energy, your goals, and your time because you know that every distraction is a thief. Every unnecessary conversation, every post, every argument, they all steal seconds you'll never get back. You've got to understand something. When your results are loud enough, your silence becomes intimidating. People start to wonder what you're doing because you're not doing what everyone else is doing. You're not posting, you're not showing off, you're just producing. And that mystery, that quiet confidence, that consistency, it commands respect. You don't need to shout about what's coming because when it arrives, it'll shake the room. The ones who doubted you will have nothing left to say. The ones who ignored you will start paying attention. The same people who questioned your silence will start studying your success. So stop trying to convince anyone of anything. Don't argue about your potential. Don't explain your dreams to people who don't have the vision to see them. Just build. Build so relentlessly that one day they'll have no choice but to respect you. Build until your results speak for you in every room you walk into. Build until your silence echoes louder than their criticism. Build until the only thing they can say is, damn, they really did it. Because that's the power of working in silence. It forces the world to listen to your actions. Every great story begins in the shadows. Every champion started in obscurity. Every breakthrough was born in silence. You've got to be okay with not being noticed right now. You've got to be okay with grinding while no one claps for you, while no one believes, while no one understands. Because this is the season where you build your foundation. This is the season where you prove to yourself that you can outwork, outlast, and outgrow everyone who's just talking. When you come out of this phase, you won't need to introduce yourself. Your results will do it for you. So from this moment forward, stop talking about it and start becoming it. Stop promising and start producing. Stop showing people your plans and start showing them your performance. Be the kind of person whose silence shakes people because they can feel your hunger even when you say nothing. Even when you say nothing. Be so consistent, so focused, so dedicated that the only thing louder than your silence is your success. Because at the end of the day, talk fades, hype dies, but results echo forever. Discipline in silence is what separates dreamers from doers, talkers from executors, and pretenders from performers. Anyone can say they want success. Anyone can talk about their goals, but very few have the self-control to quietly grind every single day when no one's watching. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not the highlight reel you post online. It's the hours you put in when you're exhausted, uninspired, and unseen. It's waking up before the world does and pushing through the moments when your mind screams for comfort. It's choosing consistency over excitement, patience over recognition, focus over attention. When you live with discipline and silence, you build a kind of strength that no one can measure because it's forged in the dark. In the quiet, where only you know how much it costs to keep going. People often confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving when motivation disappears. And the truth is, motivation always disappears. There will be days when you don't feel like doing anything, when you're tired, when life hits hard, when nothing seems to be working. In those moments, discipline becomes your backbone. It's the voice inside that says, I don't care how I feel, I made a promise to myself. Discipline is what drags you out of bed when your body wants to sleep. It's what keeps you at the desk in the gym or behind the grind when your mind wants to quit. That quiet discipline is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Because while others are waiting for the perfect mood to act, you're moving regardless. You're moving regardless. You've got to understand that silence is where discipline grows strongest, when no one's there to cheer you on. When there's no applause, no recognition, that's when your commitment is tested. That's when you find out who you really are. Most people can perform when the spotlight is on, but true greatness is built in the dark. It's built in the silence of sacrifice. When nobody sees your struggle, your pain, or your persistence, you're not doing it for approval. You're doing it because you owe it. You're doing it because you owe it to yourself. You're doing it because you made a vow to become the best version of you. And discipline is the only road that leads there. Discipline means you stop negotiating with your excuses. It means you stop giving your emotions the power to dictate your actions. You don't wait until you will feel ready, because feelings are liars. They'll tell you to quit when things get tough. They'll tell you to take breaks when it's time to push. They'll tell you to settle when you should be fighting. Discipline silences that noise. It doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. It's the part of your character that refuses to let weakness win. And when you live in that mindset long enough, you realize something powerful. Discipline doesn't just build success, it builds peace. Because when you're consistent, when you honor your word to yourself every day, you stop living in chaos. You stop doubting yourself. You start trusting yourself again. People might not understand your discipline. They might think you're distant or obsessed. They might say you're too focused. But what they don't realize is that your silence is sacred. Every time you say no to distractions, you're saying yes to your destiny. Every time you choose effort over comfort, you're rewiring your brain for strength. Every time you stay disciplined, you're building momentum, even when it doesn't look like it. That's why silence is powerful. It keeps you away from noise and focused on mastery. You're not comparing yourself to anyone. You're just sharpening your craft, brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. Discipline in silence also teaches patience. In a world where everyone wants instant results, you learn to value the slow grind. You learn that greatness takes time. And while others burn out chasing shortcuts, you're compounding results quietly. Every disciplined day adds up. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, it all stacks until suddenly you become unstoppable. And when your results finally show, people will call you a lucky, not realizing how many silent years you spent earning that a luck. But don't mistake silence for ease. Discipline will break you before it builds you. It will make you question yourself. It will test your endurance, your belief, your patience. There will be moments when it feels like you're getting nowhere, moments when the silence feels unbearable. But those are the moments that shape your character. When done with your timama. Those are the moments where champions are born. Not in the excitement of progress, but in the boredom of repetition. Doing the same hard thing over and over again without applause is where real growth happens. Because the truth is, consistency feels boring to the undisciplined, but to the focused, it's beautiful. It's proof that you're moving with purpose. You've got to understand that nobody successful skips this stage. Every great athlete, artist, entrepreneur, or leader has gone through that quiet grind when no one believed in them. They didn't have fans cheering or cameras recording. They just had their goals, their hunger, and their discipline. That's how legends are made. Not by talking, not by boasting, but by silently showing up day after day. You want to build something that lasts? Build it in silence. Build it through discipline. Build it so strong that it can't be shaken when life throws storms your way. Because when you've been tested in the dark, you're unshakable in the light. Discipline and silence also frees you from external pressure. When you stop performing for people and start performing for purpose, your grind becomes pure. You stop rushing. You stop chasing validation. You stop caring about who's ahead of you. You realize it's not about being seen. It's about being ready, darling, for the day opportunity knocks. And when it does, you won't have to get ready because you've been ready. Because you've been ready. That's what silent discipline gives you, readiness. You're sharp when others are sloppy. You're consistent when others are inconsistent. You're prepared when others are panicking. So don't worry about how long it takes. Don't worry if no one notices your effort yet. Keep your head down and your grind up. Be ruthless with your habits, faithful to your routine, and loyal to your vision. Let the world sleep on you because one day they'll wake up to your results. And when that day comes, they'll realize that while they were talking, you were training. While they were posting, you were practicing. While they were waiting for motivation, you were building discipline. That's the difference. That's what it means to live with discipline in silence. To keep moving, keep growing, keep becoming. Until one day, your results are so loud that they drown out every doubt, every critic, and every excuse that ever try to hold you back. The art of mastering your craft in silence is the hidden key to greatness. In a world obsessed with showing off, proving, and being seen, the few who choose to stay in the shadows, quietly sharpening their skills, are the ones who truly rise above. Mastery doesn't happen by luck or chance. It's born from an obsessive dedication to excellence. From countless hours of unseen repetition, and from the humility to improve even when no one's watching. You don't become great by talking about what you're going to do. You become great by doing it over and over again until it becomes part of you. When you master your craft in silence, you stop performing for validation and start performing for evolution. You begin to fall in love with the process instead of the praise. That's when transformation happens, not in the noise of attention, but in the quiet of consistency. Every person wants success, but not everyone wants mastery. Success is the moment the world claps for you. Mastery is everything that happens before that moment. It's the lonely mornings, the failures that nobody sees, the frustration that makes you want to quit, but you don't. Oh! Mastery means you commit yourself to becoming so good that no one can deny you, no matter how long it takes. It's a silent promise you make to yourself to keep improving, to never settle, to never let comfort steal your growth. The grind of mastery is not glamorous. It's raw, repetitive, and demanding. You'll get tired of practicing, tired of waiting for results, tired of doing the same thing when everyone else seems to be moving faster. But that's exactly where most people give up, and that's exactly where you must double down. Because mastery isn't building excitement, it's building endurance. When you master your craft in silence, you start understanding that greatness requires patience. You can't rush excellence. Every skill, every move, every improvement takes time. Think about the greatest athletes, the best musicians, the most successful entrepreneurs. They all spent years behind closed doors perfecting their game. They weren't chasing applause. They were chasing perfection. They understood that the spotlight is temporary, but skill is forever. If you truly want to dominate in your field, stop seeking exposure and start seeking improvement. Because when you're great at what you do, you won't need to talk about it. Your results will speak so loudly that the world won't be able to ignore you. The beauty of mastering your craft in silence is that it keeps your ego in check. When you work without needing validation, you develop humility. You learn to appreciate growth for what it is, slow, steady, and sacred. You stop measuring yourself by likes, followers, or recognition, and you start measuring yourself by progress, precision, and discipline. You start competing with your past self instead of others. You no longer need to prove your worth to anyone, because deep down, you know what you're capable of. And that confidence earned through effort, not words, is unbreakable. Mastery also builds resilience. When you dedicate yourself to improving your craft every single day, failure stops feeling like an end, it becomes a lesson. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection becomes data. You analyze it, you adjust, and you keep moving forward. You stop running from failure because you understand that it's part of the process. The silent worker isn't afraid to fall. They're afraid to stay the same. That mindset alone separates winners from quitters, because most people want progress without pain, but true masters embrace the struggle. They know that discomfort is where skill is born. There's something powerful that happens when you master your craft in silence. You start developing a kind of tunnel vision. Distractions fade away, doubts lose their power. The noise of the world becomes irrelevant because you're locked in on one mission, getting better. You don't care about who's ahead or behind, who's watching or not watching. You're focused on refinement. You're focused on becoming undeniable. Every hour you spend working in silence is a brick in your foundation. Every repetition, every sacrifice, every adjustment is building something the world will one day see. But by the time they do, it will be too late for them to catch up. Because while they were watching, you were working. You got to remember, silence is your secret weapon. When you don't announce your moves, nobody can interfere. When you don't brag about your plans, nobody can doubt them. When you just put your head down and grind, you let your work become your proof. Your proof. People will talk, they'll doubt, they'll criticize, but none of it will matter because they'll be too busy trying to understand how you did it once you arrive. That's the power of mastering your craft quietly. You move in peace and strike in power. And mastering your craft in silence isn't just about skill. It's about mindset. It's about teaching your brain to love the process. It's about being addicted to progress, not perfection. You'll start realizing that mastery isn't a destination. It's a lifestyle. It's something you live every single day. It's the way you approach your goals, your habits, your discipline. It's waking up with purpose, working with precision, and resting with pride, knowing that you gave everything today. The best part, when you live like that, you don't need to chase success. Success starts chasing you. There will be times when you question whether the grind is worth it. When you look around and see others getting recognition faster, you'll wonder if silence is really the way. But remember this, loud work fades quickly, quiet mastery lasts forever. The people who rise fast often fall just as quickly because they never build depth. But the ones who grind in silence, who build themselves brick by brick, they're the ones who stay at the top because their foundation is unshaken. That's what mastering your craft in silence does. It builds roots so deep that no storm can uproot you. So keep training when no one sees. Keep learning when no one applauds. Keep refining when no one notices, because every moment you spent mastering your craft is a step closer to destiny, Your results may not show today, but they're compounding in silence. Think about this. Every time you open your mouth to defend yourself, to argue, or to prove a point, you're using energy that could have gone into your work. You're feeding the noise instead of feeding your progress. Silence is your secret weapon because it leaves people guessing while you keep growing. You don't need to announce every move. You just need to keep making them. Let your peace become your armor. When chaos rises around you, stay still. When doubt surrounds you, stay focused. When negativity tries to pull you in, stay calm. Because every time you choose peace over pettiness, you gain strength. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you sharpen your discipline. Every time you choose focus over attention, you move closer to greatness. Your energy determines your outcome. That's why people who protect their peace achieve more. They're not wasting time fighting shadows. They're building empires while everyone else is busy talking. You got to realize not everyone wants you to win. Some people only exist to distract you, to drain you, to make you question your worth. But if you keep your peace, they can't touch you. You don't have to respond to every insult. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to convince anyone to believe in you. The moment you stop needing approval, you become powerful. Become powerful. The moment you protect your energy, you become dangerous to mediocrity. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't build with a tired mind. You can't stay consistent with a chaotic soul. That's why protecting your peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Your energy is sacred. It's the fuel that keeps your grind alive. And if you give it to the wrong people or the wrong situations, you'll never have enough left for yourself. Silence helps you refill it. Silence helps you reconnect with your purpose. Silence helps you hear your intuition again. Because when the world is loud, your mind gets lost. But when you find quiet, your clarity returns. So protect your peace like your dreams depend on it, because they do. Don't let the world steal your focus with its noise. Don't let negative people rent space in your head. Don't let the opinions of others dictate how you feel about yourself. Guard your energy. Move in silence. Let your work do the talking. Because when your peace is protected, your power becomes untouchable. And when your power is untouchable, your success becomes inevitable. The fifth key to working hard in silence is to embrace patience while staying fiercely consistent. Most people want the results without the waiting, the reward without the process, the recognition without the repetition. They want the spotlight before they've even learned how to handle the heat. But true success doesn't come to the loud. It comes to the discipline, the patient, and the consistent. Because greatness is not built in one big moment. It's built in thousands of small, unseen, uncelebrated actions. It's built in those quiet mornings when no one's watching, in those late nights when no one's clapping, in those lonely hours when the world is asleep and you're still grinding. Patience is not about waiting. It's about working while you wait, staying consistent even when nothing seems to be moving. See, everyone can show up when things are exciting. Everyone can put in effort when progress is obvious. But the real test of your character comes in the waiting seasons, those long stretches when nothing's changing, when results are invisible, when your hard work feels like it's disappearing into the dark. That's when most people quit. That's when most people start doubting themselves. That's when most people lose faith in the process. But if you want to live differently, you've got to think differently. You've got to understand that the process is not punishing you. It's preparing you. Every slow season is shaping your patience. Every delay is strengthening your discipline. Every obstacle is developing your endurance. Because when success finally arrives, it doesn't just require skill. It requires stability. And that stability is built only through patience and consistency. You've got to stop rushing what's meant to be built over time. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. It grows underground before it ever grows above the surface. The roots have to deepen before the branches can rise. And that's exactly how your life works. When you're putting in work and not seeing results, that doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means the roots are growing. It means your foundation is being built in silence. You're developing habits, discipline, resilience, and mindset, all the invisible things that success is built on. Because if you grow too fast without strong roots, you'll collapse the moment pressure comes. But if you grow slow, steady, and with patience, nothing can uproot you. That's why silence is sacred. It gives you the space to grow roots deep enough to withstand any storm. Patience and consistency are what separate the amateurs from the professionals. Anyone can start strong, but only the consistent finish powerful. Success is a game of endurance, not speed. You might see someone else blow up quickly, get famous fast, or make money overnight, but don't be fooled. What grows fast often fades fast. What's built slow lasts. You don't need to go viral. You need to become valuable. You don't need instant attention. You need lasting impact. And the only way to build something that lasts is to show up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It's about building momentum so strong that even when motivation fades, your discipline keeps you moving. Patience is not passive. It's active trust in your process. It's waking up every morning and saying, even though I don't see the results yet, I know they're coming because I'm doing the work. It's showing up when it's boring, when it's lonely, when it's uncomfortable, because you understand that the grind is what builds the greatness. Every rep, every repetition, every rejection, it's all part of your training. You don't skip the process. You master it. You don't complain about the wait. You use it to sharpen your craft. And when you finally reach that level of mastery, people will call you lucky, but they won't understand that you were just patient long enough to collect what was already yours. There's something powerful that happens when you stop chasing instant gratification. Your mind gets stronger. Your emotions get calmer. Your vision gets clearer. You stop needing validation because you start trusting your own progress. You start realizing that success is not a moment. It's a rhythm, a lifestyle, a daily commitment to becoming better. And every time you choose consistency over comfort, you're building a version of yourself that's harder to break, harder to distract, harder to stop. Because patience doesn't just build results, it builds resilience. The world glorifies speed, but real growth takes time. You can't rush maturity. You can't microwave mastery. You can't force momentum before you've earned it. Every great story has a season of silence, a season of struggle, a season of waiting. And that season is not wasted. That's where the real transformation happens. That's where you learn to control your emotions, to perfect your craft, to trust your own timing. So, the silence is where the champions are formed, when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when you're doubting yourself but still choosing to move forward. That's the moment you're being forged into something unstoppable. You've got to stay consistent even when no one is acknowledging you. Keep showing up for your goals, even when the results don't show up for you. Don't let impatience make you sabotage your progress. Every day you put in the work, you're compounding effort. It's like stacking bricks. You might not see the structure forming at first, but one day, all those small, consistent actions will turn into a fortress. That's why silence is so important. It removes the distractions so you can keep stacking, keep building, keep growing without worrying about who's watching. And when the moment finally comes, when all that patience and consistency pay off, you'll realize something powerful. The waiting was the best part, because the waiting taught you self-control. It taught you perseverance. It taught you humility. And it taught you to depend on your own strength instead of external validation. You'll look back and understand that every silent night, every unseen hour, every ignored effort, it all mattered. It all added up. It all shaped you into the kind of person who not only deserves success, but can sustain it. So if you're grinding right now, no one sees you, keep going. If you're tired and results seem far away, keep moving. Don't rush the process. Don't break under pressure. Don't get distracted by what others are doing. Your time will come, but only if you stay consistent long enough to meet it. Patience is not weakness. It's the highest form of strength. And consistency is not repetition. It's proof of belief. So keep believing, keep building, keep working hard in silence. Because one day the results will make the noise you've been waiting for. And the world will finally see what patience and consistency can create when you never stop showing up. The sixth key to working hard in silence is to master emotional control and stay focused no matter what happens around you. Because the truth is, the silent grind is not just about physical work. It's about mental warfare. It's about managing your emotions when things don't go your way. It's about staying centered when life hits you from every angle. It's about being so focused on your purpose that distractions lose their power over you. Most people fail not because they don't have talent, but because they can't control their emotions long enough to stay consistent. They get frustrated too easily, discouraged too quickly, and distracted too often. But if you can master your emotions, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting to everything and start responding with intention. You stop letting setbacks break your rhythm, and you start turning pain into fuel. When you work in silence, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel misunderstood. You're going to have moments where you want to scream just to be seen, just to be seen, just to be heard, just to know that someone notices your effort. But that's where emotional control steps in. You can't let loneliness make you quit. You can't let frustration make you lose focus. You can't let emotions decide your consistency. The ones who win are not the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who keep showing up even when they feel broken, tired, unseen, or uninspired. Emotional control is not about suppressing how you feel. It's about not letting how you feel control what you do. It's choosing to keep your eyes on your mission, even when your mind tries to talk you out of it. Discipline is emotional intelligence in motion, because your emotions are temporary, but your purpose is permanent. You might wake up one day not feeling like it. But if you let that feeling stop you, you just handed your power over to your emotions. You gave control of your destiny to something that shifts by the hour. When you master emotional control, you stop living by moods and start living by mission. You start making decisions based on where you're going, not how you feel right now. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs let emotions dictate their effort. Professionals let commitment dictate their consistency. You've got to learn to channel your emotions, not chase them. When anger comes, use it as energy. When sadness comes, use it as depth. When doubt comes, use it as a tear. Every emotion can either destroy you or develop you. It depends on how you respond. The silent grind will test you emotionally more than anything else. Because no one's clapping, no one's validating you. You'll question yourself. You'll wonder if it's worth it. You'll want to quit. But that's the moment you grow stronger. If you choose to stay calm and keep going, that's where you learn to breathe through chaos, to find peace in pain, to keep your focus even when the world feels like it's spinning against you. Emotional control also means learning to stop seeking instant reassurance. You don't need to post your progress for people to believe you're working. You don't need validation from the world to stay consistent with your goals. You validate yourself through discipline. You prove yourself through action. Every day you show up quietly. You're building power that no applause could ever give you, because applause fades, but self-respect doesn't. You earn self-respect when you keep your word to yourself, especially when it's hard. And emotional control is what allows you to keep that promise. There will be days when people test your patience, when life hits you with losses, when things fall apart right after you thought they were finally coming together. In those moments, emotional control is your weapon. You've got to learn how to stay calm under pressure, how to keep your spirit grounded even when your circumstances shake. Because when you panic, you lose perspective. And when you lose perspective, you start making emotional decisions that destroy years of progress. That's why silence is powerful. It gives you space to process before you react. It allows you to think, to breathe, to plan your next move without letting anger or fear dictate it. A lot of people want success, but they're emotionally fragile. The moment something goes wrong, they crumble. The moment someone criticizes them, they retreat. The moment they fail once, they lose belief. You can't win that way. Success belongs to the emotionally stable. The ones who can take rejection and still move forward, who can face failure and still keep working, who can take insults and still stay focused on the mission. Every setback is a test of your emotional maturity. Will you react like a victim or respond like a victor? The choice defines your future. You have to understand that emotions are signals, not instructions. Feeling tired doesn't mean you stop. Feeling angry doesn't mean you lash out. Feeling discouraged doesn't mean you give up. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't obey it. You let it inform you, not control you. That's mastery. That's what makes you different from the rest. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They're up when they feel good, they're down when they feel bad. But when you learn to separate emotion from execution, you become unstoppable. You stop needing everything to feel right before you do what's right. You stop waiting for motivation and start creating momentum. Working in silence is emotional warfare because no one sees your battles. No one knows how hard you're fighting behind the scenes. But emotional control keeps you steady. It reminds you that this pain is temporary, but the result will be permanent. It reminds you that feelings come and go, but discipline lasts forever. It reminds you that the reward is not always visible yet, but it's coming. And when it comes, it will make all the silence worth it. You got to learn to sit with discomfort without letting it derail you. Growth is uncomfortable. Change hurts. But that pain is shaping you. It's sharpening you. It's sharpening you. It's teaching you how to move through chaos without losing your calm. The strongest people are not the loudest. They're the ones who stay still in the storm. They feel everything but react to nothing. They don't let temporary emotions destroy long-term goals. They understand that staying focused doesn't mean ignoring feelings. It means managing them like a leader. Because you can't lead your life if your emotions are leading you. You can't build something powerful if every mood swing changes your direction. Emotional control gives you the ability to keep building even when your world is shaking. It's what turns a grinder into a gladiator. So when you're tired, when you're hurt, when you're angry or unmotivated, pause. But don't stop. Breathe, but don't break. feel the emotion, then get back to work. The more you control yourself, the less the world can control you. That's the secret. Because at the end of the day, life will test you again and again, not to destroy you, but to teach you how to master yourself. And once you've mastered your emotions, no setback, no rejection, no failure, no storm can stop you. You'll keep working, keep growing, keep winning in silence, because the real power is not in being loud, it's in being in control. And once you control your emotions, you control your emotions, you control everything. The seventh key to working hard in silence is to let your success make the noise. That means you stop trying to convince the world who you are, and instead you let your results speak for you. You stop explaining your grind and you start showing it through the life you built. Because real power, real credibility, and real respect don't come from talking. They come from proof. They come from the evidence you create in silence. When people see your consistency, when they watch how your work ethic transforms your life, you won't need to say a word. The results will speak louder than any speech, any post, any explanation ever could. Too many people waste energy trying to make others believe in them instead of building something undeniable. They talk about what they're going to do, what they're planning, what they deserve, but they never show up long enough for the world to see proof. That's not how legends are made. Legends are made in the dark by people who don't announce their next move, who don't need validation, who don't need applause. They work quietly, consistently, obsessive, because they know that when the work is done, when the results show up, the same people who doubted them will have no choice but to respect them. You don't argue with results, you recognize them. Letting your success make the noise is about energy preservation. Every time you talk, defend, or explain yourself, you waste energy that could be spent building. Talking feels good. It tricks your brain into feeling like you're already achieving something. But it's fake satisfaction. Real satisfaction comes when the results show up and you don't have to say anything. It comes when your work speaks so loudly that people stop underestimating you. You want silence now so you can have noise later. Not from your mouth, but from your success. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and those who rise. The stuck ones seek attention. The winners seek execution. There's a kind of peace that comes when you stop trying to prove yourself to others and start proving yourself to yourself. That's when you're free. That's when you don't care if anyone's watching, because you know your purpose is bigger than their opinion. You stop living for validation and start living for elevation. Every silent hour you put in becomes a seed. Every seed grows in darkness. Nobody sees it at first, but when it blooms, the whole world will see it. That's why silence is sacred. It's the soil where greatness grows. When you let your success make the noise, you also remove the pressure of performing for others. You stop working to impress people and start working to express your purpose. That's when your grind becomes pure. That's when your work becomes unstoppable, because you're not doing it for recognition anymore. You're doing it for transformation. You're doing it because you can't sleep knowing there's more in you to give. You're doing it because your vision demands it. When your why becomes stronger than your need to be seen, you enter a level of focus most people will never understand. People may talk about you while you're in your silent season. They'll say you've disappeared, that you fell off, that you're not doing anything. Let them talk. While they're busy gossiping, you're building. While they're posting, you're preparing. While they're seeking attention, you're stacking progress. Because the day will come when everything you've been building behind closed doors will step into the light, and no one will be able to deny what you've done. That's the beauty of silence. It hides your process, but it never hides your results. Understand this. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It's not about shrinking yourself or hiding forever. It's about strength. It's about knowing you don't need to respond to everything, defend everything, or prove everything. It's about restraint, the ability to let your work, not your words, define you. Weak people talk too much. Strong people move in silence because they know action is louder than talk. Every minute you spend explaining yourself is a minute stolen from your progress. Don't announce your dreams. Announce your achievements when they're real. This mentality will test your patience, because in the beginning, it feels like no one cares, no one notices, and no one supports you. That's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. The beginning is supposed to be quiet. It's the gym before the victory lap. It's the studio before the hit record. It's the grind before the glory. If you can learn to stay committed during the quiet season, you'll be unstoppable during the loud one, unstoppable during the loud one. Because once your results speak, they never stop echoing. People may ignore you when you stop, but they'll study you when you succeed. When you live by this principle, letting your success make the noise, your confidence shifts. You don't need to tell people you're winning. They'll see it. You don't need to convince anyone you're different. Your life will prove it. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. So stay quiet, but move big. Playing quietly, but execute massively. Build quietly, but arrive dramatically. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them be curious. Because by the time they find out, it'll be too late. You'll already be ahead. You have to train your mind to love the silence because that's where clarity lives. That's where focus sharpens. That's where self-belief deepens. Noise distracts. Silence builds. Silence builds. And when your success finally speaks, it won't be in words. It'll be in the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you live. It'll be in the opportunities that chase you, the doors that open for you, the peace you carry within you. That's the power of silent work. It builds a kind of success that doesn't just impress others, it transforms you. So stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop updating everyone on your goals. Stop proving your worth through words. Let them see it when it's done. Let your transformation shock them. Let your success become the loudest sound in the room. Because once your results speak, no one can argue, no one can deny, no one can forget. Your silence will turn into their curiosity, your consistency will turn into their confusion, and your success will turn into their respect. That's the reward for the ones who grind quietly. They end up being the loudest without ever saying a word. And remember, the world doesn't listen to promises, it listens to proof. You can talk all you want, but talk won't get you remembered. Results will. So keep your mouth closed and your mind open. Keep your focus sharp and your effort relentless. Because one day, everything you've done in the dark will shine so bright, it'll blind the ones who doubted you. And when that moment comes, you won't have to say, I told you so. Your success will say it for you. You've heard the words, you felt the fire, but now it's time to decide if it's going to stop here or if it's going to ignite the action that changes everything. Because the truth is, knowledge alone doesn't move mountains, action does. Every second you spend thinking, doubting, or waiting is a second someone else is building what could have been yours. Every excuse, every delay, every I'll start tomorrow is silently stealing your future from you. And let me tell you something, the world doesn't pause for anyone. Success waits for no one. It doesn't knock politely. It doesn't send invitations. It comes to those who are relentless, those who refuse to stop. Those who decide that the grind, the sacrifice, the sweat, the sleepless nights are worth more than comfort, worth more than approval, worth more than the temporary feeling of ease. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask the hard question, are you going to stay safe, stay comfortable, and stay ordinary? Or are you going to push every limit, break every chain, and claim what is meant for you? The people who win, the people who rise, the people who leave a mark, don't wait for motivation to hit them like a lightning bolt. They create it. They fuel it with consistency. They feed it with discipline. And every day in silence, they show up when no one is watching. That's the power of commitment. That's the power of belief. That's the power of refusing to quit until what you've imagined becomes undeniable reality. And understand this, the moment you decide to embrace the grind, to embrace the discomfort, to embrace the fire inside you, is the moment you stop being average. That is the moment you begin the journey from talking about your dreams to living. That is the moment your excuses die and your results are born. It will not be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. There will be days you want to quit. There will be nights you question yourself. There will be people who doubt you, discourage you, and try to pull you back. But let them. Their doubt is fuel. Their criticism is energy. Their disbelief is nothing but a reminder that you're moving faster than they can handle. So I'm challenging you right now. Stop giving power to fear. Stop giving power to doubt, and stop giving power to doubt, and stop giving power to distraction. Own your grind. Own your time. Own your purpose. Whatever you've been putting off, whatever you've been questioning, whatever you've been afraid to start now. Start today. Start with intensity. Start with focus. Start with the ferocity of someone who knows that nothing in life is handed out freely, that greatness is claimed, that victories are stolen from mediocrity by those willing to do what others won't. And remember, it's not about being seen. It's not about being praised. It's not about being understood. It's about being relentless. It's about showing up every single day and proving to yourself that you will not be stopped, that you will not be denied, that you are destined for more than a life of comfort, excuses, and mediocrity. Your effort, your discipline, your focus, these are louder than any word, stronger than any doubt, and more powerful than any obstacle. So now it's your turn. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more hesitation. Get after it, push through it. Grind in silence, let your results roar. Your future's waiting, and it won't wait forever. Decide today that nothing, no one, and no circumstance will hold you back. Decide today that you will rise, that you will conquer, that you will live a life so powerful, so undeniable, so extraordinary that it leaves everyone who doubted you speechless. The time is now. The grind is yours. Make it happen.